Who we got? Okay, so major regional vice president qualification. Like she said, you have to make money. Do you know that if you don't make money below regional vice president, that you will not make money after regional vice president? You know, one of my favorite movies ever is a movie called Braveheart. And in the movie, he says, your title gives you your heir to the throne, but men don't follow titles. They follow courage. And I'll never forget that. Men don't follow titles, they follow courage. So I think that encompasses this whole entire training, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Oh, give me the RVP contract and I'll make 50K then, because I'm on a higher contract. Bullshit. For the recording, for the record. It's not, it's false. It's pyrate, which is false gold, fool's gold. It's a fugazi, it's a fugazi. It's not real. Because what you do before is what you will do after. The reason that you have to make money, make freaking money, Josh. I'm talking to myself because we got freaking someone a year younger than me that's spanking me in that department coming through, my friend. But the reason you have to make money beforehand, one of the biggest reasons is so that you can sell it to your future. If you have plans of becoming a regional vice president, senior vice president, NSD, you have to make a lot of money so you can sell it to folks. When you go on POL in a recruiting appointment and you pull up the leader sheets, I mean, I can show other people's income, but I want to show mine. I just want to pull up my daily blast and say, this is what I made. Boom, $10,000. How much do you make at your job? You know, not like that, but you know, that you guys get my point. It's so that you can show and sell it to your future recruits. This goes into the replacement conversation. When you, and we might do like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not qualified to do it yet, but we definitely should do an entire recorded YouTube training on replacement. Like, I know a lot about it, but I'm not qualified yet to talk about it. But when one of the other qualifications to becoming a regional vice president is you have to exchange a portion of your team to your regional vice president now in order for you to become a regional vice president. Well, Josh, that's not fair. When you become a regional vice president, you will understand why replacement is so important. Imagine that you owned a pizza joint and it's called Joey's Pizza Shop. And you are thriving, you hire some people, one person picks their head up and says, I want to really become a great manager here. So you teach them everything and now they're a very good manager. You don't even got to show up to the pizza joint. Your manager can run it. And then suddenly one day that same manager goes, wait a second, I basically own this business without the rights. Leaves Joey and goes starts their own pizza shop. Now Joey has to come out of pocket to train and develop a brand new person, which is expensive because the person that was managing the place is gone now. Things are getting hectic, chaotic. I mean, people are breaking stuff left and right. Customers are leaving unsatisfied. So expenses are going up and your income's going down. That's not a good position to be in as a business owner. And that same thing would happen to regional vice presidents if they did not have, if when they promoted a regional vice president, that person took their entire team with them, because the regional vice president that promoted the new RVP has nothing, you know, nothing. They're just kind of naked. So that's why exchange and replacement is so valuable, because you can leave behind a portion of your team once, and for the rest of your life, as you produce regional vice presidents, you can take and receive exchanges, portions of people's team for the rest of your life. So knowing that going in, you know that you have to give up a portion of your team once, and you get to take portions of multiple people's teams for the rest of your life. If you were the one receiving a exchange, would you want a small exchange or a big exchange? 1 or 2 up, put a 1 or 2 up. 1 or 2, just give me 1 or 2, something, anything. 2, okay. You'd rather have a big exchange given to you. You want to receive big, but you don't want to give big. You see, it doesn't work that way. So exactly, Marilyn said she wants a large, because those exchanges are your pension plan. It's called the replacement pension plan. It's called the replacement mutual fund, right? And we want as large of a return, or receive as large as possible. Jeff said, just like the stock market, exactly. But you can't expect a large reception when you didn't give a large one, or decent. You know, what's large? I would say 1 to 2 legs is a decent replacement. Probably depending on how much production they're doing. 1 to 2 legs is a decent replacement to give. We're talking about making 50K. A leg, okay, is, it was hilarious because Bruce said the difference between a stump, like you know, in a tree they got the tree stumps instead of like a whole root or a whole branch, you got a little stumpy, right? But a leg of, or a branch of the tree is a team, one team that can do 5,000 to 10,000 of production. That's a leg. How many teams, or AKA legs, do you have that can do 5 to 10,000 of production without you being there on any given month? If it's less than 5, or it's like 3 1 month, 2 1 month, 5 1 month, 6 1 month, 2 1 month, 3 1 month, it's not consistent 5 to 10. That's called a stump. You got a tree stump, you don't got a leg. That's your stumpy. You're looking for legs. Teams that can do 5 to 10,000. And we said snap, crackle, pop as a little acronym to remember, because the snap is when Joey goes out there or Jeff goes out there and does 10,000 personal. By doing 10,000 personal, you as a district leader will make $4,000+ a month. That's $50,000 a year. Well, Josh, where does the 4,000 a month come from? Where do the 10 transactions come from? Shondell said it comes from you doing 20 appointments a month, 5 a week. Where do those appointments come from? Answer, one word, anybody, everybody. Ho, recruiting. That's what it is. Recruiting. That's where the 5 to 10 appointments come from a week, 20 appointments a month. They come from field training, new recruits. So what the new recruits, they're watching you do these appointments, aren't they? As they watch Joey do the appointment, Jeff do the appointment, Dante do the appointment, they're learning how to do the appointments themselves. Not just so they can go produce on their own, but so they can teach it to their people that you helped build under them. Reproduce. You're creating reproducers, not just producers. You're creating reproducers who can take what you just taught them and teach it to others. That's the question that you got to ask yourself. But that's where the 4,000 of cash comes from each month. The 20 appointments a month. Where do those appoint? From recruiting. And field training those recruits. They watch, they duplicate what you just did over 2 weeks of field training them. Hopefully. Do all of them do that? No. That's why you double-digit recruit, not just 1-digit recruit. Because not all of them are gonna reproduce. Hey, of the 10, some are just gonna be like, I promise you. How do I know? Because I have this going on right now in my base. They're gonna say, okay, I understand now, and I got licensed now. Just leave me alone. I'm gonna go get a client, 1 or 2 clients a month. They don't want to recruit. They don't want to reproduce. That's okay. We love them. I want thousands of them. But you are busting your tail to make the 4,000 below RVP, getting those 10 transactions, field training 5 to 15 people at once, so that one person can pop their head up and say, oh, I want to do what Joey just did as well. So they go out and boom, you created your first leg. But it's still feeling like, damn, I'm putting a lot of work in for this 4,000. Yes, you are. It's called the underpaid stage. And Bruce talks about that all the time. You're going to be in the underpaid stage for just a period of time. If you do it correctly, well, Josh, what's the period of time? Dude, I believe if you're focused, because they got a show on Discovery Channel called Undercover Billionaire, and you got to go build $1 million business in 90 days. And some people actually do it. So it's like, if they can do that in 90 days, you can go through the underpaid stage. And I'm talking to myself, in 6 to 9 months, a year. You can go and get through the underpaid stage, which is, what's the underpaid stage? Below RVP. That's the underpaid stage. I'm working on a client now that if I was an RVP would pay me 10 grand, but instead it's only going to pay me 4 grand. Boo-hoo for me. Willie, it's Bruce Caulk, Caulk. And you can personally be trained by him twice a month if you double-digit recruit. But underpaid stages below RVP, you can get through that stage where you're like, dang, man, I'm working a lot. I'm going through the BS. I'm going through the excuses. I'm going through the, oh, this is a pyramid scheme. This is that. I'm going through all that nonsense. That's the underpaid stage. I am hearing this is a pyramid scheme way more than Samir is in the month of March. I promise you that. Right? But he's not in the underpaid stage anymore. Why? Because he built multiple legs, and then he gave up his exchange to his regional vice president to become a regional vice president, and then just continued the process 1, 2, 3 more times. Now, guess what? Samir is in the overpaid stage and no longer has to do anything ever again for the rest of his life. And I actually take pride in that. Do you take pride in making sure that your RVP never has to do anything for the rest of their lives? I do, because I wouldn't be able to do what I am going to do, what God has in store for me, without the mentor, my regional vice president, teaching me all that I know. See, he deserves to get that effort from me. He deserves to earn off of me. He's in the overpaid stage now. But, and I'm kind of like bouncing back and forth with this concept here, but you know, when you do this before you become a regional vice president, you can sell it to your future legs. Hey, this is what I did when I was you. This is what I did. And look, they will either do one of 3 things: copy you, do a little bit less than you, or exceed your standard. That's what they'll do. And as a regional vice president, why is that so important? That you can sell that to your future legs, and they do one of those 3 things. Here's why. Because in the underpaid stage, you going and getting the watch, and you know, field training other people, you know, cash flowing 4,000. As an RVP, you doing that, you're actually making double that, because it's a higher contract. And if you create one leg as an RVP that does 10 transactions a month, which means what? They're getting the watch, they're cash flowing 50K, which means what? They're on track to becoming a regional vice president. So you're an RVP producing RVPs, right? You are going to earn 60,000 a year minimum from that leg doing 10 transactions a month. So they're making 4,000 a month getting the watch below RVP, but you are now an RVP earning 5,000 a month from their efforts. And you earned that, right? You earned that right, because you did it below RVP, and you can sell it to them. And if they're the right person, like I feel like I am, they'll understand that. They'll take pride in it. Do it again with a second leg, you're making 120,000 a year in overrides from your 2 legs that are copying what you did. They're copying your track record, going and getting 10 transactions a month. 2 watch wearers in your organization as a regional vice president. Do it 3 times in a row, and now you are making $250,000 a year in overrides, passive income. And guess what? They're all 3 of them making $50,000 a year in business, which is very different, with no boss. Are they happy? Yes, because they're on track to becoming a regional vice president. Okay, so a third reason you have got to do this is proof of success to yourself, man. Do you think, this is something Bruce said, and not just Bruce, like a whole lot of other $1 million earners that I listen to. There's zero evidence that it is easier to make 50 to 100 grand as an RVP And Shondell's telling me I gotta hurry up. So there's 50. There's zero evidence that it's easier to make $50,000 to $100,000 a year when you get the regional vice president contract than before. Zero evidence. Why? It's not because you can't. It's because you don't know how. You don't know how. It's like sending your 10-year-old, or better yet, it's like sending your 18-year-old into the cold, cruel world, but you taught them nothing about how the world works. Good luck. Right? Like, would you send a child? I don't remember where I heard this, but someone said, would you send a child, like your toddler who's in daycare, and the route to getting to daycare is taking the bus, subway, and she said, Bruce said, to the daycare, and you send the toddler alone. Good luck. Try to get to daycare. Take the bus, take the subway, and then you're at daycare, the toddler. That wouldn't make any sense. That's kind of what it's like you're doing to yourself, not making big money before RVP. You got to prove yourself. You got to prove it to yourself in the minor leagues before you get to the major leagues. Otherwise, you're going to get your head ripped off. And then money consciousness, man. I got 3 minutes on this. Money consciousness, Lord have mercy. I believe this is where I was supposed to spend the most amount of time on, because money consciousness is like vital. It's like a pulse. Like clear, boom, clear, boom. Like money consciousness is so valuable. And I'm speaking to myself too. I listen to so much on money. I heard $1 Million Earner recently say that every third book he reads is about money. Why is that? Why would he do that? Because your thoughts and understanding and your grasp on money is so important. You have no idea in terms of your success. How do you view money? I'll just ask questions and maybe you can answer these on your own. Is money, do you feel limited on the amount of money that is possible for Jeff Brooks to make? At what point is it a dirty word, or a dirty number in this case, for Jeff Brooks to earn? Right? Is it bad mentally? I'm just using you as an example, Jeff. This is not you. But is it bad for Jeff to earn $650,000 per year? Is that bad in your mind? Does that make you uncomfortable? How much did your parents make growing up? Are you okay in your brain earning 4 times as much as your parents ever did in their entire lives? Or do you feel limited, like that's not okay? There's a book I highly recommend to people to kind of shorten this process for me, is The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T.K. Harv Eker. I think that's his name. The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I believe, hey, by the way, it's free on Google. You can just get the PDF. Okay. You don't have to answer all these questions, but it's a rhetorical question, right? Okay, so do you spend all the money you make? Right? Do you, and this is something we were talking about yesterday, Shondell and I. We need to do a better job investing more of our money. Would you invest 50% of the money that you make? Would you do that? Even if it were uncomfortable? I have no evidence that people invest more when they start making more. There's no evidence of that. You invest more than you're comfortable with when you're making small money. And that is how that works. Your money consciousness below RVP is what's going to determine your money consciousness and the money you make after RVP. I promise you that. So invest time at night. I mean, listening to the right kinds of people about money. Search, invest. What you focus on grows. What you track grows. So go on YouTube and search things about money. Money is a good thing, and you need to make a whole lot of it. Go out and make a lot of money in the month of April. All right, finish. We got 1 week left in March. And the pay cycle in Primerica doesn't actually end till the 7th of April, by the way. So you guys got 2 weeks to jack your income up. Right? Hopefully this was helpful, guys. Thanks so much. By the way, I'm sorry. You just end the recording.